Help control the simp population. Give a beta male a red pill. Coming to paperback and e-readers this March, John Haynes, the man with nothing to lose. The man who rules the world runs into the irresistible force of a man with nothing to lose in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get the regular and variant cover editions of John Haynes, the man with nothing to lose this March. The most dangerous person in black communities is not the black women who run the matriarchy, but the beta male simp. And the reason why the beta male simp is the most dangerous person in black communities is because your beta male simp does not understand his power as a man. Now, your man was created by God to be the head of household, and he was made to be the leader and the steward over the community that he lives in. Unfortunately, your beta black male never learned about his role under God's natural order, and because he did not learn about his role under God's natural order, he has been miseducated by your black woman and the government to believe that his role is to submit to female authority and submit to female authority figures, and he believes that the females have all of the power in the community because he grew up in an era of white feminism, and he grew up in a welfare state controlled by female authority figures who ran single mother households. And because he grew up raised in a single mother household, he learned from birth to submit to female authority figures, and he learned never to challenge female authority. And because this man never learned to challenge female authority, he believes that all of the women are the only people in the community who have the power, and he has to do the bidding of all of the females in the community because they are the ones who have power over his way of making money, his way of feeding himself or clothing himself, and that if he goes against this matriarchy, he will be punished severely by being denied access to sexual favors, which he considers to be the highest benefit a man could ever receive. And because this beta male simp has learned this culture from an early age, this is one of the things that makes him dangerous. Now, the other thing that makes your beta male simp extremely dangerous is the mindset that he learned growing up in that female-headed household. Now, this beta male, when he grew up in that female-headed household, he learned that, again, women are the ones with the power and the authority, and he learned to, again, submit to these females, and that also taught him, again, how to think like a female because there was no father or male figure in the home. And because he learned how to think like a female, this is one of the things that makes him extremely dangerous because he is an emotional individual and he acts on his feelings like a woman. However, he has the physical strength of a man. And this is what makes this man a very, very dangerous individual to deal with because he does not know how to think critically about a situation, nor does he know how to use logic and reason, and he acts on the impulses of his feelings with that physical strength of a man, not ever thinking about the consequences of his actions. So oftentimes what these women in the matriarchy will do is use this man as a tool and a weapon to preserve their matriarchal order. And the reason why they use this beta male as a tool and a weapon is because that allows them to maintain power in black communities, and it allows them to maintain their smooth world. Now, your black matriarchal communities, these are ghettos that are stranded in poverty, and they can't lift themselves out of poverty primarily because the women in the community do not want to give up any of the power they were given by the welfare state and the government, and they do not want to submit to the leadership and authority of any men who are outside of the community. And because they don't want to submit to that authority, what they do is use these beta male enforcers to maintain their power base so that they can have a smooth world where they have no problems, no obstacles, or no issues. Even though many of the people in the community are suffering, the females are not suffering because they are receiving all of the benefits they want from these beta male enforcers, and they are receiving benefits from these beta males because they are, one, providing them with resources from whatever jobs they have or whatever money they get from whatever. Some of them have illegal activities that they participate in, and two, they provide them with protection from the threats that go on outside of the community, because their violence and dysfunction keeps others out of the women's part of the community, and it allows them to maintain their fiefdom where they believe they are in charge and in power. Now, because of these beta male simps, this is why your black community has not progressed over the last 50 years, because your beta males are the ones who keep anybody out who starts talking about economic empowerment or talks about building in any sort of way, because that all of those types of behaviors, this disrupts the matriarchy's smooth world. And again, as long as they are receiving benefits from the government, as long as they're receiving benefits from these beta male simps, the black community cannot grow. Now, your beta male simps, how they enforce the policies of the matriarchy is that these men, they are used as pawns and tools. And these pawns and tools are, because they are emotional, these men are extremely gullible, these men are easily manipulated, and these men are easily controlled, because most of these men, because they submit to female authority, they believe the thing that has the highest value is not economic wealth, but social currency. And the highest value of social currency they believe they can receive is getting sexual access to the women. Now, these beta males, they will work as hard as they can, primarily not to build economic wealth and economic power, but they build in order to get, again, the attention of the woman and the approval of the woman. And they believe the thing that has the highest value is sexual access to the women. So oftentimes these men, they only compete just to get the attention of these women and the approval of these women. And they think that because they're getting attention and sexual favors from this woman, they have a high status as a man. And oftentimes this is what leads to these men becoming the types of pawns and tools that women use to do their dirty work, because they know all they have to do is flirt with this man or give this man some attention, and he will practically do anything to get more attention. And this is why many of these women, whenever they get in trouble or are held accountable by somebody else, they will go and use their emotions to manipulate this emotional man, and then use this man as a weapon to go out here and attack another man. Because your beta male simp is primarily, again, controlled by his emotions, and when he hears that a woman is in trouble or is running into problems with another man especially, these men, they get emotional, they get riled up, and then they act on impulse without thinking about their consequences of their actions, use their physical strength as a man in conjunction, with these emotions they have like a woman. And this is how these women use these men as enforcers in their community and use them to keep the power of the matriarchy in place. And many people don't see how dangerous these simps are, because these simps, oftentimes, a lot of people think, oh, that he's just there, but no, he is somebody there for a reason. And he is there only to do the dirty work and the bidding of the females in the community. And as long as he's in the community doing the dirty work of the females, they all have a purpose and a value. But what really makes this whole community a complete mess with the beta male simp is that your beta male simp is so focused on pleasing, impressing, and getting the attention and approval of this woman that he doesn't think about taking his power as a man. And because he does not take his power as a man, what happens is the community remains under the female authority of the black woman, and that allows white supremacists to maintain economic and political power in black communities. And because your white supremacists control the economies in the communities, they not only control the businesses in the community, like the white people who control supermarkets, the Arabs who control the grocery stores, the Koreans who control the hair and nail salons, the Hispanics who control the barbering and hair cutting. All of these economic parts of the community were controlled by black people when black men were in charge. Unfortunately, when you have a group of black females in a matriarchy, they aren't, again, focused on getting their economic needs under control or their political needs under control. They are only content with being taken care of by the small amount of money provided by the welfare state, and they are content to have the power they get from the attention and social currency they receive from these beta male simps. And again, all of this whole power base is based on these beta male simps never understanding their role as a man, never understanding their power as a man, and never wanting to take a leadership role that God created for them in God's natural order. Because these men did not want to take their leadership role and do not understand their leadership role, they believe that the woman knows better than them, and because they are following the woman's lead, this is why their communities have stagnated over the last 50 years. And this is why the beta male simp is the most dangerous person in black communities, because your beta male simp is an individual who lives to submit to female authority figures. He is somebody who gives the female power, and when the female has power over him, that allows others to have power in black communities, and it leads to black communities continuing to remain ghettos. Because when you have a man who is learning how to submit to female authority, he is not a man who is focused on leading his community, leading his family, building in his community, maintaining standards in his community. No, a beta male simp is someone who only lives to submit to female authority figures, believing that if he gets attention and sexual favors from women, that he has achieved and accomplished something, when in actuality he has achieved and accomplished absolutely nothing. And that's why your beta male simp is an extremely dangerous person, because he will sell out his entire community all for a whiff of what's between a woman's legs, and he will do anything like sacrificing his intangibles of manhood, like his dignity, his self-respect, and his self-worth, all for a look from a woman. And if he gets a look from a woman, he will compromise all of his morals and principles just to go and get with that woman. And he will literally put his own health and safety at risk, all to please a woman. And he will even try to hurt and murder others, all because he wants to get the attention and approval of some woman. So your beta male simp is an extremely dangerous individual, and he's extremely dangerous because he is somebody who is extremely naive. He, in some cases, just plain dumb, and he's an individual who just only primarily lives to please women. And again, because he's only focused on pleasing the woman at the expense of his intangibles of manhood, his safety, and his freedom, he acts on his impulses and has this physical strength of a man and the emotions of a woman. This makes the beta male simp the extremely most dangerous individual in black communities, because your women in the matriarchy can use this man as a weapon to bludgeon others and terrorize others, and because she can use this man's physical power based on her own emotions, this prevents anybody from wanting to come into a black community to build, because they don't have to deal with this woman. They have to deal with these beta male simps. And again, these beta male simps are blindly loyal to women who aren't loyal to them. And sadly, a lot of these guys cannot even see how they are being used as tools and weapons to do dirty work for predatory black females, and how them being used as weapons is the thing that leads to a war being waged in black communities that continuously keep them perpetually in poverty. If you want to learn more about these beta males, you can pick up my book, The Man Crisis, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle formats. And if you want to learn more about the dysfunctional paradigm that black women in the matriarchy participate in, you can pick up my ebook, Why 70% of Black Women Are Single, on Amazon.com in Kindle format, Smashwords, and the iBookstore. And if you want to see me make more classic videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say in this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.